to start, obviously the news yesterday that Sean and Jonathan got called into the U.S. camp. The national team coach Berhalter said that Jonathan did everything he asked in the January camp, earned the next call up, and Sean, he talked about his professionalism. He's a good person having a team. It seems like those are things as well that you're seeing here at NYCFC.
No, it's a good news for us when that happened, because it's better for us, for the motivation of our players when they go to play with the national team. Is a good news for us. I expect maybe in March we miss 11, 12 players, because many players will go to the national team. But I prefer that, because that means they play well, and the national team has focus in them.
You talked about needing to get as many of your players game minutes as possible, and it's a tough struggle for you because they deserve it. Do you think that you will maybe utilize some changes for this week to maybe get some?
Yes. I'm thinking about, because it depends the last game. Maybe some players play in Europe, some players play here in the United States. Depends the long trip. You know, they arrive maybe one day before to our trip in Toronto. It's not easy to play if they are tired. It's about that. And when that happens, we have to change a little bit our squad, because it's not easy to play with the jet lag, with the long trip. Just they have one day to recover. I'm talking about many times with you play the MLS, and the MLS don't stop, and you play in Europe and another country, and it's not easy when you recover to play really well, because normally you are tired.
I wanted to ask you, and I asked you about this on Sunday, about the tactics and the team pressing a little bit higher. This team didn't press a whole lot last year up the field. Is this something that's going to be, you're adding to your bag of tricks, that this team can begin to do that and go after the other team to try to win the ball further up?
No, our idea this year is make high pressing all the time if it's possible. Avoid they play comfortable, and we have to, especially not just in the Yankee Stadium, even when we play away, we have to make build up. Because we practice a lot positional games, the short games is about that, because we have to improve when we have the ball. Even when the opponent make high pressing, you have to be brave to play. And I like to play if it's possible, and we have these kind of players, and I think, it's my opinion, we play much better when we keep the ball and pass the ball. But it's not about the soccer, I say. After the last game, it's not about when you keep the ball you play much better than the opponent. It's not about that. I like to take the possession of the ball, but the mentality to score a goal. Not about if you pass the ball 1 minute in your own half, forget about it. It's pass the ball, keep the ball in the right moment. You have to attack. That is for me the best way to play soccer. No? But we have to be focused this year, especially when the opponent has the ball, recover the ball as soon as possible, make high pressing, and we have to make a build up when we have the ball, or when for example, against DC, we knew when you pass the ball, our keeper pass backward, they make high pressing. And we practice a lot. When that happens, you have to spread out. Jimmy drop to the ball, and you have to play. That is the best way to play, and we will try to play in this year.
Because it looked like your forwards had a little bit more freedom to counter press than when you didn't have the ball, to go after DC and try to disrupt their build-up. And Ben was playing a little bit higher than maybe we saw at some points over the past couple of years by design, to specifically be disruptive.
Yeah. The most important thing for me is when, for example, the next opponent, I was the last 2 games plus 2 games in the friendly games. in the pre-season, and every day or every game is different for us when we make a build-up. It's not about the build-up is always the same. Ben drop or Jimmy. No, maybe they play 4-3-3, for example, LA, and they make high pressing, but it's different when they make high pressing. For example, the DC, and we have to find the best solution to make the best build-up for us, because I know right now how they make high pressing. It's different. That is the reason why we change a little bit our build-up, and even our high pressing is different, because DC play 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. If you want, or 4-2-1, because this player cost is free and 3 players forwards, but LA play 4-3-3. That's the reason why you have to change tactically a little bit. We have to play in the same way, high pressing, build up, but you need to change a little bit because they play different.
Have you been impressed? Like you said, you've seen them a little bit now, LAFC. A lot of people are saying that they could potentially be a team to compete for the cup. It's a long way away, but when you see them, so many different options to score up front, it seems like the full squad is pretty impressive.
I impressed with the performance, especially the last two MLS games, because they play really well. I like the way they play, because they play. I remember, it seems a little bit when I work with Pep, especially in Barcelona. They play 4-3-3. They respect the position. Even the players, as I don't know, Bella has a commit with the system. Stay wide sometimes when the ball. I like especially when they play when they have the ball, because they have a clear idea to play soccer, and maybe it's one of the best teams, because it's earlier to speak about that. In MLS, if you talk about the positional game, they play positional. They play 2 or 3 special players. For me, Atosta is one of them, because they play very similar, like Sergio Busquets in Barcelona, and he's a clever man, and they play really well. I am impressed, not because they were able to win the game, because it's very important.
Sure.
The way they play, for me, they play really well for me. This is for now. I watch many games in the MLS, and I like especially the way they play. Is because I know this way.
Sure.
If I 4-3-3 to attacking midfielder in the position. The wingers wide. Sometimes when the ball is in your side, go inside and overlap but they respect the position. For me, will be a tough game, because they are in top form right now. But except the over 50 minutes, 20 minutes against DC, I'm happy with our performance, because I reviewed the game, because it's my job.
Sure.
And I analyzed our game, and I think we play really well 60 minutes.